So today it is coffee chat time. We're going to be catching up on several different things that have been going on during the summer, talking about that first burst of fall. And yes, there was a whole bear incident and I have video. So that will be coming up as well. So grab your coffee. It's time to chat. Now, first of all, here where I live in the mountains, far northeastern New Mexico, and so it is feeling like fall. Yes, it is only mid-August, but we are already having temperatures in the mid to upper 40s at night, so quite chilly. Well, when it gets chilly like this, it puts me in the mood for everything fall. I love fall. It's my favorite season. And one of the first things I love to do when it turns a little bit cool is make some pumpkin bread. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that pumpkin-y goodness. And so I decided this week I'm going to release a bonus video over on my other channel, Cooking for One. And I'm going to be releasing that hopefully later today. That is a quick and easy pumpkin bread. It's quick and easy because it starts with a cake mix and you can make it for one. I'll leave a link below to that channel. Hop over there and subscribe, collect notifications. And as soon as I upload that today, you'll get the pumpkin bread recipe. Now, one of the first things I wanted to talk about, because some of you have asked about this, is you wanted a little bit of a garden update. I was doing a little bit of an experimental container garden this year. It's the first one I've done since I've lived here, and I wanted to try a few things. I used to live in Amarillo, Texas, and the growing zone and the growing conditions are very different here. When I lived in Texas, I lived in zone 7B. I now live in zone 5A, and it's kind of a arid alpine environment, so very different. So you all saw the previous video where I talked about putting things in the containers, putting things in buckets, and so I wanted to update you on how it went. Okay, quick little garden update. You can see the tomato jungle here. It has done pretty well. I've been testing a lot of varieties that I grew in Texas to see how they grow here. Some I'll grow again, some I won't. I learned a lot this year. I definitely will be growing more tiny toms. This plant produces literally hundreds of these tiny little tomatoes. And I get some of these every day, every other day. They ripen up really quickly. I'll also be growing my little Cherokee mixes again. These are hybridized mix. They set lots of tomatoes and ripen really quickly. This is also one of these Cherokees. They're about the size of a golf ball, a little smaller. And so they're very productive. These are my peppers. This is a serrano. It's just loaded with serranos, which is great. I love serranos. These three little small pepper plants I don't think got enough light, so I'll be fixing that for next year. This is a Scotch bonnet hot pepper, and it's done pretty well. It's set lots of little peppers, so I'll be growing that again. My eggplant looks really healthy. I just think it needs a little bit more sun, so I'll be moving that one next year. This is my sage. Sage loves it. This is another one of the Scotch bonnets, and it is just, you can see how loaded this one is. You can see all those peppers in there. I make a really hot salsa with that, so that's wonderful. This is a fall planting of squash. A mix of yellow squash and zucchini along here. It's just blooming and starting to produce. Doing really well in the fall, way better than the spring version did. This is also a fall version of pickling cucumbers. They're doing very well in the fall as well. My spring ones just dried up and died. So we're trying again in the fall, and they're doing very well. I'm letting my dill, this is dill right here. I'm letting this one go to seed so I can gather some seeds. This is my basil. This little swimming pool is full of beets. And I don't know how that zinnia got in here, but it did. But it's full of beets. I have another one right here. Has beets, also has a pepper plant in it and a few blueberries. Jury's out on the blueberries. We'll see about those next year. Zinnias are doing well. They're just now starting to bloom a little bit. We'll see how they do next year. I think I'm going to plant them a little thicker next year because they sure are beautiful. And on this side we have some cosmos starting to bloom, some white cosmos. These little purple flowers, I'm not sure what they are. Y'all may know what they are. They came in a mix and they're doing well too. So I'll definitely be saving some seeds and planting these again. And these were just some random black sunflower seeds that somehow got planted in the middle of the yard. And I just decided to let them grow and see how they did. Well, they're doing very well. This is on the west side of my house. So I'm definitely going to be planting more of these on the west side of the house next year. And so I'm going to be making a few changes as to where things are located next year, which plants I'm going to be using. For the end of this season, I'm going to be putting a plastic drape over most of these plants so they'll stay a little bit warmer. One of the issues when you have a container garden is that as it starts to cool off, your soil and your bucket gets cold. So the plant's roots get cold and it stunts their growth a lot faster. Now realize it's going to be stunted anyway because this is a short growing season. So I'm going to need to extend that a little bit. So I'll use some plastic and see how long it goes. So those are the things you learn. When you're in a new location, you've got different soil, different weather conditions. You just try things out and see what works. And then you order things for next year that hopefully are going to work better. So I've done all of that. But I just wanted to give people a little update. I wanted to show, I get about a handful, kind of like this, of little tomatoes every day or every 2 days, which has been great for me this summer. I've so missed homegrown tomatoes. And also, as many of you know, the Love Train series books that I've been talking about forever have wrapped up. However, major error on my part. There are 2 of the books and 2 of the authors I kind of skipped over. I totally missed them. It's book number 6 and 7, Heather Blanton and Kit Morgan. And ladies, I owe y'all a tremendous apology. I am really sorry. That was completely my error. It's these 2 books, but all the books in the series are out now, so you can go and binge download them. And I hope that you will. But go and check those out. And I did want to apologize to those authors because I was just a complete space cadet, because that's basically what happened. My bad. Now, let's talk about the bears. This last week, I had a little bear visit. Where I live, bears are extremely common. They're everywhere. They're in town all the time. I live in the middle of town. It's not like I live out in the wilderness on the edge of town or something. I don't. It's a small town. But this time of year, black bears, which is what we have here, they go into the phase when they are eating all the time. They're preparing for winter and it's getting colder. Well, this year here, as in many places across the country, we had a very good fruit year. And normally we don't. Normally it's kind of marginal because our weather in the spring is kind of psychotic. And so you don't necessarily get a good fruit year every year. But this year, all the apples, the pears, the plums, any fruit anyone had is loaded. And this includes crab apples and wild plums that grow here anyway, choke cherries. It is a big fruit year. So the bears are in town to eat the fruit. They don't care anything about me. They don't care anything about anybody else. They're just doing their thing, right? That's what bears do. They eat. Well, this little bear clearly lost his way and somehow ended up in the trees in my yard. I didn't even know he was there. Melissa, a friend of mine, had brought Gracie May home from a play date with their dog Demi. And she pulls up in the drive and Gracie runs in the house. And I go out and she's like, why are game and fish over here? Well, they were over across the fence because they knew the bear was there. I didn't even know. And so, like everybody does here, you go out in your yard and you watch. And Melissa had her phone and took great video and great pictures. And this is what we got. These trees are actually in my yard. I am going to show you some pictures that I took from the window in my house where the little bear was going over the fence right where my tomatoes are. And this kind of thing happens frequently. It's, you know, I used to live in Texas where tornadoes were a big thing. And what happens when there's a tornado? Everybody runs out into the yard with their phone to get video. Oh, where's the tornado? because it's just such a common thing. It's the same way here with bears. And no, they don't relocate them unless they get into something or they're endangering someone, endangering livestock. They leave the bears alone. Most of the time you don't see them anyway. They're out at night. They come eat the fruit. They go home. It's not a huge deal. People here know how to deal with them. A lot of people, when their fruit gets ripe, they simply strip the fruit off the tree. That solves the problem. The bears go back home where they're supposed to be. And here in a few weeks, they will be going back up to the mountains where they stay during the winter. And you know, I posted a picture on a group that I'm on Facebook, and a lady was convinced it wasn't a black bear. For those of you who do not live west of the plains, some of you may not realize black bears in this area come in a variety of color. They can come in chocolate, they can come in black, they can come in cinnamon, which is a red color. They can come in blonde. They also come in two other colors. One is called blue and one is called glacier. And I've got a picture of those phases for you that I'll pop up here. I've never seen a blue and I've never seen a glacier. All the other colors I have seen here. Those are all technically black bears. They do have a variety of colors. But in the eastern part of the U.S., all the black bears are absolutely black. They don't have this color variation. That's something you only see out here in the West. So just FYI, these aren't grizzlies, these aren't brown bears, they are black bears. But one of the things I love about being here is that you see so much wildlife. And you don't have to go out into the wilderness to see it. It comes to your door. So you kind of have to be prepared for that. Now I've got a lot of things coming up, a lot of excitement coming up this next month, which I'll be filling you in on as we go. But I just wanted to stop and have a quick coffee chat and really thank you all for watching this channel, for participating in this channel, and the new channel as well, and for leaving such kind, supportive comments. It really encourages me to keep going, to keep doing what I'm doing, to keep adding what I'm doing, to keep thinking up new ideas for content. And by the way, if you all have ideas for videos that you would like to see, drop them in the comments. I love new ideas. And so if you have some new ideas, drop them in there and let me know what you'd like to see on this channel this fall. And I will see about getting it to you. But hopefully this morning you've enjoyed your coffee. You got to see bear videos. And I will be seeing you next week. Thanks so much.